Last year, the Enclave was all new. So we got the upgraded tech, we got this awesome styling, 3 different trims to choose from, but we dropped the V6 engine. So is it going to have enough power? We're showcasing the 2026 Buick Enclave Avenir in ebony twilight metallic over ebony. It's longer, it's wider, it has 6.77 inches of clearance. I'm Anthony from Supercar Throttle. Now when you go Avenir, this is the top trim. You have a whole different grille design. So it's gonna have the glossy black and the chrome. That's going to highlight with some more chrome on the side that normally would go into an air pocket, but it goes into your headlight assembly. LED for that, as well as the daytime runnings. And it has animated lights for the front. And with this feature, you can do it by just simply unlocking. You can keep unlocking and it still works. That's not gonna happen with Audi. This is not comparable to that. But everybody is starting to add this animated feature, which I like that you're getting this in a $60,000-ish price point. The chrome, yet again, is gonna come on the lower trim. The ST is gonna be all blacked out, and you would save about 10 grand. But all 3 trims are gonna have this 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Now, it does produce 328 horsepower, which is quite a bit of motivation, and 326 pound-feet of torque. And a lot of people probably in the comments are already saying it's a Turbo 4. It's not gonna have the power that's needed for this vehicle. Well, that's what you're gonna have to stick around through the interior and the drive part to see. But it's achieving 20 mpgs for the city, 25 mpgs for the highway. We have the front wheel drive configuration, and the Enclave ticks the box to 5,000 pounds of towing, 1,801 pounds of payload. That is a lot. Now with that refresh, it did become longer and wider, and we get these upgraded 22-inch wheels when we go Avenir. It starts off at an 18-inch wheel. Now you can get 22-inch wheels on the ST. It's gonna look a little bit more sporty because you're gonna have more gloss black on the side, whereas the Avenir, it's gonna boast all the chrome. The nice thing about Buick, opposed to competition, is you can lock and unlock the doors on all 4 corners. That's not the case when you go into Toyota, Honda. You have to start going into luxury vehicles like Lexus to do so. When you go Lexus, you're gonna spend probably $10,000, $15,000 more to this. And I get it. People are gonna say this is still not comparable to that. Then who the hell is it comparable to? That's why Buick slots into that position where it's just a touch above Honda, Toyota. The new Palisade though, it definitely is giving this a ride for its money. But the reason why I brought this to the channel is because this is actually one of my favorite variants, because Buick is kind of understated. Since they dropped the 4-year 50,000 mile warranty that they had a few years back to the 3-year 36,000, it's really lost its charm with standard LED taillights. And yet again, you get the animated feature back here, and it does the same thing as the front, meaning you can keep unlocking the doors and it'll keep doing the animated feature. I got it to do it about 3 or 4 times. Rear parking sensors, front parking sensors, a standard 360-degree reverse camera, and a digital rear view mirror. Now, when you're talking about competition, even going up the class to pure luxury, they don't give you this much for this type of value. Yes, the engine isn't necessarily what everybody's wanting, but it does have more power than the V6 that we lost. For me, if I could kind of soup this vehicle up, take parts of my older Infiniti that I had, put it into here, I would buy this vehicle. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you buy this over the competition? Click a like, and if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, because all these interactions help with the algorithm so we can bring more vehicles. So now the power. It's getting there, but it does feel like it's dragging, and that's in sport mode, have you. So is it something that is better than the V6? I like the V6 option better. I thought that it drove a lot more refined. The actual suspension to the vehicle is really good because we have upgraded wheels. The sound deadening is really good too. It's much more improved. You don't hardly hear any road noise. And I'm gonna just show you going over some speed bumps so that way you can actually see what I mean by how smooth the ride is. Definitely a lot better than the prior gen. It's just that Turbo 4 is really working itself. And the brakes, I can hear like a noise when I hit the brakes, as if there's like a bubble or something. Maybe you can hear it. And it doesn't like for me to change the gear in sport mode. Like, see, I want it to go under 2 RPM. It's just not having it. Maneuverability isn't bad. The steering has a little bit of weight, but for the most part, when you're driving past 20 miles per hour, it is pretty luxurious and smooth. It feels long and wide. It feels like you have a lot more ground clearance than 6.77. I mean, once you get it up to speed in cruise control, you'll be fine. You'll really enjoy this vehicle. And at $62,000-ish, it is a bargain. But since they have an ST, which is a sport touring, I think that they need a V6 model. Especially when you're getting into the Avenir, spending over $60,000. I personally have a VC turbocharged 4-cylinder on my Infiniti QX60, and by no means I like it. Like, it's just really pushing to get into traffic. I mean, for God's sakes, it's a Nissan, and the Honda behind me, look, is speeding up like a maniac. And that's really where the big problem comes into play with these Turbo 4 engines, is it is hard to weave in and out, and I wasn't even weaving in and out. I'm just driving normal, nothing crazy. You have to constantly hit a high 3 or 4 RPM for the motivation. The interior should be a little bit more comfortable. I do like that we got massage seats, ventilated heated seats, and heated seats in the second row. And it's definitely a lot more refined for that longer journey. I mean, I don't hardly hear any road noise coming into the cabin. But every single time I have to push the gas, I'm hitting basically 3 to 4 RPMs. Super Cruise Control, you have to pay a premium for it to get it, plus you got to pay packages for it as well. Turn radius at a stop point, it's going to be long. 2 and apart lane, let's rock and roll. Funny enough, the car that's next to me is a QX50, which debated that VC turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that I have in the new QX60. And he caught up to me. So is it as good as the V6? No. But the refinements for the interior, the drive comfort, the actual technology that you get, I mean, it's a lot better than the prior, as well as a more minimalistic look, more simplified, more storage capacity. Now, when you change the driving modes, the only thing it really does is changes the RPM, so now look at it. At that same 25 to 30%, I'm hitting basically 1 RPM less than I would in sport mode. If you're okay with the turbocharged 4 getting 20-25 mpgs and you're basically hitting higher RPMs all the time, then this is definitely a get it vehicle. But for me, I don't think I'll ever buy another turbocharged 4 because I just can't stand the fact that it feels like the vehicle is drowning, and it shouldn't feel like that because we had a V6. They could have just tweaked that to get better MPG, especially considering we're in the Avenir, and they could have gave it to us in the ST. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.